So now let's have a look at the sacral center. I want to make some things clear. When I talk about that you make money out of the not self, it doesn't mean that you can only make money with somebody else who has that center open. And I've been waiting for this information myself when I was learning this, and I'm sure that some of you definitely wondered about this as well. Please, you have to understand that again. It doesn't mean that you can only make money with somebody else who has that center open. The fact that you have an open center means that it is your outlet. That's your way of attracting what is out there for you. In essence, your open center is your material direction in that sense. But it doesn't mean that you only impact other open centers. You impact the not self, and whether that other being has that center open or not is not the point at all. For example, let's take a look at the sacral center. It's 70% of humanity, all generators. We know that the sacral center is the center of work. We know that the open sacral, the strategy of the open sacral is that it doesn't know when enough is enough. So if you want to make money out of the open sacral, you make money out of figuring out when enough is enough, because the open sacral is the only thing that can be wise about that. Obviously, that is, if it's not being conditioned by it. Now, what is the basic plague of all generators? The basic plague of all generators in terms of the concept of work is that they are quitters. They quit a lot. The not self generator is a great quitter. They are always quitting out of frustration. As a manifesting generator, I can tell you that happened quite a lot for me in the past. Thankfully, in the past. So it is one of the things to understand about the power of selling through the open sacral. The open sacral is selling stop. The word stop. The open sacral makes money by telling the sacral when to quit. Think about an open sacral and its pitch to generators. Like what Ra with an open sacral used to say to generators. He would tell them to quit being slaves in order to become builders, He'd tell them to quit living their lives the way they've been living it. In other words, he'd go directly to the way in which they are not self-operated, directly to the basic problem of the generator, which is quitting. And it's his words, not mine. He would take advantage, as he said, of the fact that they are always ready to quit, and he would direct the quitting into something more productive. So this is how you can actually make something good out of your not self. Yes, you are selling through the not self, but you are selling through the not self, you're selling something which will help them to develop the true self. Not develop, but open up to it. Because only then, for me, it makes sense. So it doesn't matter whether you are selling that to open sacrals, who do not know anything about when to quit anything, or sacrals who are in things and know when to quit, but it's the wrong things they are in, so they are ready to quit anyway. It doesn't matter. Open sacral sells quitting, period. One of my friends, a manifestor, built her whole empire on this as a marketer. So now all these people quit what they're doing and following her footsteps. The slogans may be like, quit being stupid, quit being non-self, quit being mundane, quit being this and become something else. I mean, isn't that a wonderful pitch? Please understand that the wisdom you derive out of transcending conditioning, and remember something, you only transcend conditioning when you do not allow your mind to make decisions for you. Your mind only makes decisions based on the not self. Whether you are living your design or not, your mind will always try to make decisions based on the not self. So when you know the game of your open center, you know how to profit from it. Now, there is something to understand about this. This is not about mental manipulation. It is not about taking advantage, okay? Because I would never go into something and teach you that. What I'm actually trying to teach you here is a mechanical thing that works anyway. I mean, it works anyway, so you better learn it, you know? And the more correct you are, the more correctly it works. When you are correct, you will enter into correct work. And I hope you remember what I mean by correct. I mean being yourself. For us to be aware of it is an advantage. And the advantage is the signpost. The way in which material does come into your life is through the venues of those open centers and your ability to take the wisdom of those open centers and use it and turn it into a product or service, whatever the case may be. And it is a constant reminder of how it works. And it is beneficial in the analytical sense to be able to see these things for the other as well. But I really want you to understand, if you are correct, this will operate correctly. So now let's go through the sacral themes of quitting.